Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Host Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. The ECCU governor raises concerns about level of regional financial literacy. This story takes the lead in today's edition of Caribbean Perspective for Tuesday, 26th September 2023, brought to you in association with our friends at Antillian Group. Details when we return.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. Urgent action is needed to address financial literacy issues in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, the ECCU. So says the ECCB Governor Timothy Antoine. Zane Romulus of the DBS News World has more.
The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, in collaboration with the OECS Commission and the World Bank-funded Caribbean Digital Transformation Project, announced the results of a financial literacy and inclusion survey on Monday. Launched in August 2022, the survey captured baseline information about financial behavior, knowledge, and attitudes of individuals throughout the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, the ECCU. The survey found that residents of the ECCU lack adequate understanding of the most effective ways to save, budget, invest, or borrow money. This has led to many falling prey to scams, high-interest hire purchases, and payday loans. Although the Eastern Caribbean has a literacy rate of over 90%, the financial literacy of its citizens is lamentably low, says ECCB Governor Timothy Antoine.
We have the situation of persons spending their limited income on wants while begging family, friends, and government for their needs. This latter behavior calls to mind a remarkable observation by the late Martin Luther King, who in the 1960s observed that black people were spending their limited money on their wants and then begging for their needs. I don't know, a lot has changed in the last 50 years. Against this backdrop, colleagues and friends, this survey is no ordinary survey and cannot be an academic exercise. Indeed, urgent action is needed to address financial literacy and inclusion in the ECCU.
The survey also highlighted disparities in financial literacy based on income levels and internet access. Higher income earners and internet users generally demonstrated higher financial literacy. The financial literacy score in the ECCU ranged from 11.7 to 13.1 out of 20 points, with Anguilla achieving the highest score and St. Vincent and the Grenadines achieving the lowest. OECS Commission Director General Dr. Didicus Jules says that the survey results are crucial because they indicate the financial vulnerability of the region.
Financial literacy isn't just about understanding money. It is about empowering ourselves to make informed decisions. It is the knowledge and skills to manage personal finances, understand savings, investing, borrowing, and much more. When a significant number of individuals lack these skills, our entire region can suffer from high debt levels, low savings, and missed economic opportunities.
Dr. Jules says the survey's findings are significant and underline the urgent need for improved financial literacy and education across the ECCU region. For the DBS News World, I am Zane Romulus.
The call by the opposition to remove the 7% online purchase tax has been welcomed by the coordinator of the Confederation of Regional Business Chambers in Trinidad and Tobago. However, the organizations say local goods must be supported. Meanwhile, the Greater San Fernando Chamber of Commerce is calling for more answers as to the effectiveness of this online tax as it relates to revenue generation. Gishant Polasar Olanzo tells us more in CNC3's Business Watch.
Coordinator of the Confederation of Regional Business Chambers, Jai Leela Darsing, says it supports the call by the opposition leader to remove the 7% online purchase tax. Speaking with the Business Watch earlier today, Mr. Leela Darsing explains,
this online tax is nothing unique. There are other forms of this tax at various rates in other countries. What I think the government's aim is to ensure that more purchases are done locally at local retail stores where certain goods are available, and that these goods are acquired by our local currency. Because once you do overseas purchasing, it is in US dollars. And again, that presents a constraint.
According to Mr. Leela Darsing, it's important that the local small business sector is also supported.
It is important that the SME sector, as well as the family-based businesses who have such goods available, encourage local customers to buy from them instead and save the US dollars.
Meanwhile, President of the Greater San Fernando Chamber of Commerce, Kiran Singh, says more explanation is needed from the Finance Minister about whether this online tax is effective.
The question we need to ask, and we expect the answer should come in the budget presentation, exactly how much revenue generation comes from the 7% online tax, and is it an unnecessary tax to consumers and those who use the credit card for online purchases.
Mr. Singh also notes that the online tax has increased the cost of goods that are imported by the average consumer.
Those who operate small retail stores, tradesmen, who rely on the use of a credit card. We must remember that the credit card is not a luxury item, but a necessary monetary tool.
Further, Mr. Singh says that this onerous tax for online purchases continues to be challenging for small businesses. Geisha Kaulesa Alonso, CNC3 Business Watch.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
In association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Three people will receive the nation's highest award, the Order of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, this year. More in this TTT News item.
University Professor Emeritus at the University of the West Indies, Professor Clement Imber, will receive the Order of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago for his work in the spheres of innovation, steel pan, education and culture. Professor Imber, co-founder of the UWI Steel Pan Development Center and a member of the team that developed the G-Pan, has contributed significantly to the development of the steel pan. Professor John Agard is being given the top award for his work in environment, climate change, and biodiversity protection. The Executive Director of the Global Institute for Climate Smart and Resilient Development at the University of the West Indies. Professor Agard's research is widely recognized from natural resources management, water quality, marine and terrestrial ecology to the impact of climate change on natural and human systems. And the director of the Cocoa Research Center at the University of the West Indies, Professor Padmanathan Umaharan, is being awarded in the spheres of science and agricultural development. Professor Umaharan oversaw the conversion of the Cocoa Research Unit into a full-fledged campus center. Through his efforts, the University of the West Indies has been named by the European Union as the top cocoa research institution globally. Among the other successful nominations for National Award, founder of Banyan Productions, Dr. Bruce Paddington, one of the longest-serving managers of the steel band movement, Exodus's Ainsworth Mohammed, and sports administrators George Leacup and Azim Bazarat. Awards are being given posthumously to Dr. Calvin Inal Singh, Calypsonian singing Francine, Wayne Bertrand, Imam Imtiaz Ali, Gwendolyn Luby Snaggs, and 11-year-old Rachel Bagwandine, who died while protecting her younger brother from being attacked by a dog. Terry Ann Brown Campbell, TCT News.
Global leaders gather at Montego Bay Conference Center to tackle transnational illicit drug and gun trade. Celine Campbell of CVM Live reports.
Wrestling not against flesh and blood, but against the illicit trading of drugs and guns to save lives. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, speaking at the 37th International Drug Enforcement Conference, IDEC, highlighted the need for greater emphasis on the trending demand for drugs. He questions why people require quick fixes to their emotional problems, noting while synthetic drugs are not the dominant modality in Jamaica, there's a growing trend for ecstasy and Molly.
These drugs are often manufactured in clandestine labs, making them more challenging to detect and eliminate. This trend that is growing in North America, specifically in the United States. We know that trends in the United States oftentimes become global trends.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness therefore stressed the importance of diplomatic partnerships, adding they play crucial roles in the fight against illicit drug trafficking. He adds Jamaica continues to be the largest Caribbean source for ganja and a transit point for cocaine trafficking, given the nation's geographic location. The Prime Minister says Jamaica has a total of 150 entry points.
Transnational criminal organizations continue to use Jamaica as a drug trafficking transit location, despite our consistent and ongoing efforts to reduce and combat the illicit trafficking of narcotics.
The network of law enforcers must therefore be stronger than that of the criminals.
Jamaica is aggressively seeking to strengthen the capacity of our customs agency as a key component of not just our border protection system, but integrated into our national security apparatus.
In January 2023, Jamaica made its record drug seizure, with the authorities seizing approximately 1.5 tons of cocaine. The Prime Minister is assuring the government remains committed in the fight to save lives. Celine Campbell reporting for CVM News.
The long-standing relationship between the governments of St. Kitts and Nevis and the Republic of China on Taiwan continues to bear fruit, as the two nations have now entered into an agreement that will greatly enhance the practice of diplomacy for officials. Andre Huey of SKN Newsline has more.
The agreement on diplomatic staff training cooperation between the two nations will provide training for diplomats from St. Kitts and Nevis and Taiwan. It was signed between the Foreign Minister of Republic of China Taiwan, His Excellency Joseph Wu, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs in St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Denzel Douglas, on Monday, September 18. Minister Wu stated, "The agreement we have signed demonstrates our joint commitment to nurturing skilled and well-rounded diplomats. It also highlights the range of our bilateral cooperation. Capacity building is essential for island nations like ours." The signing of the cooperation agreement came as St. Kitts and Nevis observed its 40th anniversary of independence, as well as the 40th anniversary of establishment of diplomatic relations between the Republic of China Taiwan and the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Minister Douglas said the agreement offers an excellent opportunity to expand educational training cooperation between the two countries in the field of diplomacy. Delivering brief remarks on the occasion, Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew said this agreement is another benefit of the strong relationship shared between St. Kitts and Nevis and Taiwan. The signing ceremony took place at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort and was witnessed by other officials. I'm Andre Huey for SKN Newsline.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean.
In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. to at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.